Hello everyone. I know I'm a little bit late with this video, but I did not have a lot of motivation recently to make videos. But alas, here I am. I now have motivation to make a video. And yeah, I am going to be taking a deep look into Wildcat's Revenge, Hersheypark's new for 2023 hybrid roller coaster coming next summer. And first looks, this is definitely very, very exciting. I love the color scheme. Everything looks great with this ride. The trains look awesome. I'm actually kind of really curious to see how the different trains will look because they are different. For the stats, we have a height of 140 feet, a max speed of 62 miles an hour, 4 inversions, 82-degree drop, and 3,500 feet of track. Just over 400 feet longer than the original Wildcat that was in that exact same plot of land. So yeah, this is definitely not like the next Iron Gwazi, next Steel Vengeance or anything. This is a very mid-scale RMC, if that makes any sense. Like, you know, you have a lot of them that are around 100 feet tall, then you have 200 feet tall. This is right in the middle, right around where Area Force 1 is, around 10 feet taller, basically. But enough of the stats, let's actually get into the layout and the ride experience when you walk up to this thing. So let's talk about some first of the ride. For one, this will be the first ever RMC with a load and an unload station. This will also have ride lockers. I don't know if a lot of people pointed this out yet, but if you look at one of the concept art images, you can actually see a couple of lockers, like the ones in Steel Vengeance and Twisted Timbers. So I am thinking there are going to be metal detectors for this ride. I mean, that does seem like a Hershey kind of thing to do, although I am not quite sure on that. It is not confirmed about how the lockers are going to be set up. They're probably going to be most likely the enter and exit ones that you get on Twisted Timbers and stuff like that. And Wildcat Revenge... I'm sorry. Wildcat's Revenge does use the like the second generation of RMC trains, so that's always nice to see. But yeah, so let's get into this ride experience. You are first going to take a left-hand turn out of the station, go in some bunny hops, turn to your right, and go up your 140-foot tall lift hill. Now, there were a lot of people that were very surprised that this was not like 180, 170, or even a hypercoaster. Now, I never thought that this was going to be a hypercoaster or anything, but I did think it was going to be around 170 feet tall. But I do understand why this is 140 feet tall, and there is a reason why that you turn left out of the station to turning right. The original Wildcat turned right and then went into the lift hill. This time you're turning left, then turning back to the right to go up that lift hill because you need more space for that lift hill. Once you reach the top, you will go down that 82-degree drop. This looks like it's going to deliver a lot of airtime in the back row, as always. So yeah, that's a pretty exciting part of the ride. Then we go into the step-up underflip, which I did not mention earlier. Wildcat's Revenge does break a world record, and this is the only one. This is the world's largest step-up underflip inversion. Now, I mean, like, it's not the best world record, but it's something for marketability, so I guess that's why they did it. And this is what is used for Wildcat's first drop. Wildcat's first drop is being used for this element, the structure, which I think is actually kind of interesting in my opinion. After this underflip, you're going to go into a very elongated airtime hill. This looks to be sustained, and it looks like you're gonna fly through this thing. You can just tell by the shaping of this, you're gonna fly through this hill. It looks amazing. After this hill, you're going to take a left-hand turn and go into a step-up element that has like an off-axis little twist to it. So it's basically an off-axis step-up element, which actually looks really cool and really, really snappy too. That's going to provide some really good laterals. And then you're going to go into an overbank, which might have some sideways airtime. I'm not sure about like at the end of it, it might have some sideways airtime. But it looks just to be an overbank, so yeah. And actually, that overbank turn looks to be using that one airtime hill that was right by the station, so that's going to be really nice. And then after that, you're going to go into a 0G stall, which uses another part of Wildcat's old structure, the first airtime hill you go into, so that's also a nice little touch. From there, you are taking a right-hand turn into a little wave turn overbank element, and then you go into the straight section, which, like, you know, kind of jolts you to the right, has little pops of airtime. And this is the most interesting part of the ride for me, is this roll. Hershey is describing this as a reverse downhill roll, which I can see why they're going with that. This definitely reminds me of the death roll on the Iron Gwazi. Now, this is why it's interesting to me, is will this actually go slow so you get hang time, or is this going to go fast? Like, you're going to zoom through this thing and get that death roll, like, experience. That's my biggest question. So maybe if you get a night ride, if it rained or something, the track's really slick, maybe you get like a nice death roll sensation. But overall, I think you're going to go rather slowly through this to get a lot of hang time, but I would love to see if this actually acts like a death roll. And again, we are reusing Wildcat's original structure for this with those two like little bunny hop mid-course things into that roll. That's good. That's like the old brake run, I'm pretty sure. That's what used to be the old brake run. And after this, you're going to go into a helix with an overbank, which uses the helix before that goes into the brake run. That was the old structure there. And then after that, you're going into a regular 0-0, a classic on RMCs. Those are always really fun. Then you're taking a right-hand turn helix thing with 2 more bunny hops into the brake run, and that ends your 3,500 feet of track experience on Wildcat's Revenge. So, to me, this definitely screams Zadra. This is a Zadra-based layout. It's all about the speed and the laterals. On Zadra, there's barely airtime. It's all about, you know, those inversions, the speed. You take the layout. This definitely reminds me of that, especially with the steel truss lift and the track colors. This definitely focuses on, like, you know, laterals, not much airtime, inversions, and the speed, which I am definitely excited about, because I've been on a lot of RMCs, like Twisted Timber, Steel Vengeance, Storm Chaser, all of those things. Those are all airtime-based roller coasters. It's definitely nice to see a bit of a shake-up to it, and a lot of people are kind of mad that it doesn't have a lot of airtime. But I'm actually glad that this is a speed-based roller coaster. It's something different. And, you know, that's something that Hersheypark definitely loves to do, is to stand out, be different from the rest of everything else that's in the entertainment industry, or whatever you want to call it. Something else that a lot of people, you know, are kind of disappointed about or don't like about the ride is actually the name, Wildcat's Revenge. And I actually like the name. It makes sense, you know, it's a redo, it's a refurbishment of Wildcat, you know, it's Wildcat's Revenge, yeah, woo, you know, it makes sense for the ride. And I think it sounds cool, you know, it's not the best name, but it's definitely something that most fits. Like, be glad it wasn't Iron Cat or Steel Cat, like, cause, you know, Iron Gwazi, Iron Rattler, those are just stupid names in my opinion. I don't know who came up with those, like, that's just lazy in my opinion, but, like, Wildcat's Revenge, in my opinion, is a really good name. One more thing that I'd like to point out with this ride are the cross ties, and I know you guys are probably like shaking your heads right now. Why the cross ties? Why are you talking about the cross ties? Because that's something I found interesting is when I was investigating. I found these steel C-beams in the parking lot, and they're painted black. And we were thinking, me and Russian Throws were thinking at first, maybe this is like a steel train lift trough thing, but I'm like, no, there's holes in there where bolts are supposed to go. So I had no idea what those were for. And so a couple weeks later, when I was at King's Dominion, I was in line for Twisted Timbers, and I was looking at the track and the cross ties. They're practically the exact same match, so I was wondering, why are they painted black? So when I saw the announcement, I was actually kind of excited to see that they painted the cross ties to match with the color scheme. It's an extra color, like, accent, basically. And it looks really nice. I actually like it. So that's something I thought was pretty cool. So there's your RMC lesson of the day, cross ties that are C-beams, so, yeah. So, yeah, basically, that's Wildcat's Revenge in a nutshell, in 8 minutes. This is definitely a great addition to the park, and something that Hersheypark definitely needed. Wildcat was not a very well-loved attraction, so this is definitely going to give it an uplift and bring a lot more people into the park for next year, 2023. By the way, if you've watched this far into the video, this is your reminder and a sign that you should subscribe to Great Bear Productions today. I bring you guys a lot of content, especially top of the drag speculation videos. I have a lot of those, so please go check those out. Also like the video, comment, and all that kind of stuff. Go check out my Patreon, merchandise store, and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, back to the video / outro. So, am I happy that Wildcat's Revenge is coming to Hersheypark? Absolutely, this is a wonderful addition. Now, is this going to be the best ride at Hersheypark? Well, I'm not exactly sure. I could definitely see this as being the best coaster at Hershey, but I would not be surprised if this is the second best coaster in the park. It would not surprise me whatsoever. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on Wildcat's Revenge coming at Hersheypark next year? Again, if you like what I post, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you all later. Bye.